I'm sorry, I didn't get that. Oh man, if you own an iPhone, just hearing those words probably triggers a very specific, hair-pulling kind of frustration. We've all been there, right? You ask your phone to do something incredibly simple, like, I don't know, set a 5-minute timer or check the weather, and instead, you get a random web search, or worse, just completely misunderstood silence. For years, Siri was basically the internet's favorite punchline, constantly failing at basic daily tasks, while stuff like ChatGPT was completely revolutionizing what tech could actually do. Well, in this explainer, we're unpacking exactly why that era of frustration is officially over. We're diving into the massive 2026 Apple executive shakeup and looking at how that boardroom drama is actually directly tied to an incredible software glow-up for our phones. We're going to see how Apple's leadership transition is finally taking Siri from a viral meme to an absolute powerhouse that will completely change how you handle your daily phone tasks. So here's the roadmap for today. First up, the end of old Siri. Second, the AI leadership shift. Third, apps that run themselves. And finally, your upgraded smart home. Let's get right into it. All right, section 1, the end of old Siri. From meme to powerhouse. To really understand where we're going, we first got to look at why Apple got left behind in the first place. Think back to 2011. When Siri launched, it was hailed as literal magic. But over the next decade, Apple's super strict privacy constraints and their total obsession with legacy hardware cycles, pumping out a new physical phone every single year, kind of held Siri back. While competitors were out there moving fast and breaking things in the cloud, Apple user loyalty wobbled. We all desperately wanted a smart assistant that actually understood context, but Apple held off. They insisted on on-device AI. That stubbornness led to the 2024 Apple Intelligence announcement, the massive ecosystem integration we're seeing in 2025, and now what insiders are calling the 2026 AI-first rebirth. Which brings us to Section 2, the AI leadership shift, building for the future. And this is where we get into some massive leaks coming straight out of Bloomberg regarding the boardroom at Apple Park. So Bloomberg reports that Apple's executive board has been quietly prepping an AI-first succession plan. We're talking about a huge transition from the Tim Cook era to next-gen leaders like John Ternus and Craig Federighi. The old corporate mindset was led by a brilliant supply chain master, super focused on those yearly hardware cycles we just talked about. But to fix your everyday software experience, Apple realized they literally had to put generative software experts in charge. The next leaders couldn't just be hardware guys anymore, they had to be true AI visionaries. To really grasp this new mindset, you have to listen to what Apple's senior vice president, Craig Federighi, said. Quote, "We aren't just bolting a chatbot onto a phone, we are fundamentally rewiring the OS." Think about that for a second. Apple Intelligence isn't just some generic third-party app you download from the App Store. It is a deep, fundamental rewiring of how your iPhone actually operates. They aren't treating AI as just another cool feature. It's the absolute foundation. Moving right along to Section 3, apps that run themselves, the iOS 20 magic. This is exactly where we get the tea on how this shift translates to saving you time every single day. Now, you're going to hear this massive tech buzzword thrown around a lot, agentic AI. Let's just demystify that right now. Agentic AI is simply software that allows apps to talk to other apps and execute tasks without you lifting a single finger. Seriously, instead of you manually opening an app, clicking around, finding a date, and making a booking, iOS 20 is basically turning your phone into an actual background personal assistant that takes full agency over the task and just does the whole shebang for you. Let's walk through how this flawlessly handles a multi-part daily headache for you. Imagine you're planning a trip. Step 1. Your new Apple AI reads a text from a friend asking to visit next month. Step 2. The AI seamlessly checks your calendar to find an open weekend. Step 3. It automatically finds and books a flight for you. Boom. Done. No jumping back and forth between your messages, your calendar, and your airline app. The apps just talk to each other in the background. It's totally eradicating the need for thousands of those generic utility apps because the operating system itself is handling all the heavy lifting. Now, I know exactly what you might be thinking. My phone is reading my texts and checking my calendar? Okay, that sounds slightly terrifying. But listen, this is Apple's ultimate flex. Localized large language model training, which is essentially the AI's core brain, means on-device processing. Apple is using its neural engine to process all of this info right there on the physical hardware in your hand. There is absolutely zero creepy cloud data sharing going on here. They are beating their cloud-based competitors by giving you incredibly smart contextual assistance without ever selling or exposing your private data. All right, Section 4, your upgraded smart home, the ecosystem trap.
Because as you'll see, this incredible automated intelligence doesn't just stop at your phone. It spills right out of your pocket and straight into your living room.
This all builds into what's being called Smart Home 2.0. Apple's famous ecosystem trap is fully closing here, folks. For a long time, HomeKit just wasn't as smart as we wanted it to be. But with these new AI data streams, your smart home finally synchronizes seamlessly with your iPhone, your Mac, your iPad, and even your lighting. It learns your daily habits. It intuitively adjusts your environment based on what the agentic AI on your phone already knows about your schedule. It all just talks to each other flawlessly. It's a real game changer.
So, to wrap up our findings, here is the TLDR spec sheet on what's dropping this fall. We're looking at agentic background tasks in iOS 20 that literally do the work for you. We've got on-device privacy-first LLMs, keeping your data locked down and safe. We're going to see the eradication of generic utility apps because, well, the OS just does it better now. We finally have next-gen Siri conversational context, meaning, yes, Siri actually remembers what you said 2 minutes ago. And finally, cross-device ecosystem automation that brings your whole smart home together. But of course, there's always a catch, right? The hardware tax. Because this incredibly fast on-device processing requires massive neural engine power, you really have to ask yourself, do you actually need an iPhone 18 for this? The financial cost to upgrade to the latest hardware might be steep, but the real question is, can you put a price tag on this level of extreme, futuristic convenience in your everyday life? That is exactly what you'll have to decide when iOS 20 officially drops.